and you're welcome to WG Series Live. Now, this is the third episode, okay? Episode 3. Now, in this episode, we're talking about the effects of absent parenting or the effects of parental absence. Now, I'm going to make this short and sweet, okay? Because I don't want to bore you. You know, normally people don't like watching for a long time, but I will try to make it short because there are things I really, really want to talk about right now. Now, let me start by saying that it is wrong, it is unfair, it is not good for you to have a child and not be there for that child. I understand that there are circumstances. There are circumstances why people have children and they are not there. Now, there could be a circumstance of creep, you know what I mean, because of this is life. You know, if you're abused and you all of a sudden had a child, is a different scenario, okay? But on that part, I think it's advisable to come over it. I know that is a stigma that it takes time to heal, but it is advisable that you try as much as possible to just give it time, okay? Because this child needs you. Without you as a parent, the child will not be there. Hold on a minute. Now, number 2. Now, there are circumstances where you're a lady, you fell in love, and all of a sudden you got pregnant. And when you got pregnant, you had this child, they call it out of wedlock. But to me, no child was born out of wedlock. Every child is born or was born for a reason. Why I say this is because how can you explain a couple who have been looking for children, the woman has been looking for a child for just 1 year. You've been married, you're looking for fruit of the womb for a year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Trust me, there are people that have been married for 20 years, no issue. Yeah. And they go to adopt. So how can you explain that a child was born out of wedlock? No child was born out of wedlock. Every child was born due to God's plan. But the problem is your readiness before you had that child. I am not saying that I encourage people who had children out of wedlock. No, I don't encourage that. But what I'm saying that if you were involved in a relationship and a guy got you pregnant and finally you had that baby and the guy denies that baby is not ready, does not mean that your life has ended. Let me tell you, many of the people you see that is making impact in the world, even if you study your Bible, you will discover that some great men and women, not all of them were born from a ready-made family. When I mean ready-made family, a man that married his wife and both of them got married and they stayed together and they started having children. All of them were not that way. Many of these children that you see, that you think they were born out of wedlock, turned out to be governors, turned out to be president, turned out to be creators, turned out to be men and women who own industries, turned out to be men and women we read on social media, that we see in the newspapers, turned out to be men and women that God is using to transform lives today. So on the scenario where you had a child out of wedlock, so to say, does not mean that you should feel bad. Yes, you feel bad because that was not what you were planning. But at the end of the day, you can move on and focus your energy on that child. I know you will say, maybe you wanted to be a doctor, now you're giving up your dream, you can't be a doctor anymore. Let me tell you, I've watched shows from lovely, wonderful men like Steve Harvey. And on consecutive times, I've seen when Steve Harvey have interviewed women that started rough, but ended up being wonderful entities today. Yes, If you study history, you will discover that people that have changed the world happens to be people that were so-called born out of wedlock, or people that at the beginning they had children and all of a sudden their life had to go on. Okay, now you have to find yourself. Now let's get back to the point. Now, absent parenting is wrong. Now, if you're married and you have a wife, and all of a sudden, I could see, well done, my brother, well done, if you're a parent and you have children or you have a child and you are not abroad, there is difference from when you are in your home country and your home country is not doing well, the economy is bad, and you decide to travel to Europe, or you decided to travel to America, or you decided to travel to any developed country that the economy works. There is security, there is good education, there is good structure in government, and you decide to go there to get a better living for your children. That is understandable. That you leave them to go and hustle, and when you make it, you can now come back to your home country and take the rest of your family over, or when you're stable, you invite them. That is very understandable. You can go and hustle and make way for your family and come back and invite them overseas. Now, let me talk about this. Apart from that scenario, which is an exemption, if you are a father or you are a mom and you have children, and because of the stress of your children, you decided to go and live alone, you're providing financially for them, but you're never there. It is a wrong way to go. It is very wrong. Every child needs the love of his or her parents. Every child deserves love. Do you know what it is when a child gets bullied in school? You have a child being bullied in school, and they bully your child by saying, go and tell your daddy, go and tell your mommy. That child will feel bad because there is nobody to talk to at home. And even if there is a guardian, that guardian will never be like you. You know, blood is thicker than water, they say. If a child have your presence as his dad or her dad or his mom or her mom, they will feel more comfortable to tell you their experience and their troubles and their worries. But you are not there. You're chasing after money. Money is good. But let me tell you, at old age, what money will only do is to help you maintain your health. But how about love? How about company? How about having loved ones around you? Hi, Feldamino. Hi, guy. What's up, my brother? Yes, so like I was saying, please leave your comments on the comment section. If you know you grew without your parents, please leave a comment. Just say hi if you know you grew without your parents, because a lot of us went through this thing, okay? A lot of people did have their parents in their life. And all of a sudden, now that they've made money, or now that they are well-to-do, or now that their parents are aging, they want the presence of that child that they were never there for in the first place. Money is not everything. Guys, listen, money is not everything. Yeah, my sister, well done. Yeah, thanks for agreeing with me. Money is not everything. As a mother, your children need you. As a father, your children need you. You don't just go out to make money. Money is not everything. How about your daughter getting to see her period for the first time? And she's you know, that moment is precious to every female child. She's seen her period for the first time and does not know who to talk to about it. And you as the mother, you are not there. There's a difference, like I said, when you're abroad. But when you are in the same city, in the same province, in the same state, and because of your work, you don't have time for your children, but you have time for your boss. You have time for that job. Now, how would your daughter express that, mommy, what is this? I am seeing this thing for the first time. You are the one that will tell your child, baby, listen. My daughter, listen. This is your monthly cycle. This is what you go through. This is what you go through. You understand? This is your monthly cycle. It's a normal thing. So you need to explain to your children so that they will feel valued. They will feel that value. Now let's talk about the boys. Now you're an absent father. Many men now have fleets of women. Now, I spoke in my previous video the responsibility of money. Many of you want to be lifted, you want to have money. You are at a place right now where you are financially struggling. But when God gives you that money, you forget your responsibility. There are many men who have loving wives. I'm not talking about men. I know that there are some wives that are actually local, but there are also women that are hardworking, loving mothers. But you, as a husband, you don't have time for your wife. You don't have time for your wife. You are a father. You don't have time for your wife. You are a father. You don't have time for your son. The things he's struggling with as a man, how would he tell you? Do you know that as a young boy, sometimes there are questions we want to ask our father, but because our father is not there, we'll go and ask the wrong person. You know, blood is thicker than water. Leave your comments if your dad was never there for you. And also, there are fathers. You are living with your children and your wife. You're living with your family. But you don't give your children attention. You don't make yourself approachable to your children. It's bad. If you are doing it, stop it. Don't look at a child. I don't have time for these kids. They are children. They go grow. They will grow. They will grow. That little boy will become a man one day. That little girl will become a woman one day. Let's try to be responsible. I know it's hard. I know most times you go to work, you come back, you want to rest your head. That is the time your children wants to play with you. And as a man, you go and hustle, you come back, and that is the time that your wife wants to play with you. That is the time that your wife wants to talk to you. But you were drained at the office, you were drained at your business. But that is the time your wife really wants to tell you something sensitive. And when you are not there to listen, she picks offense. She gets angry. And so you don't care. I understand. But if you don't make an investment of your presence, you can't cash it out when you are old. Your presence in the life of your family is an investment. Or you're a woman, contract and chasing of career to be absent in the life of your children. Every child is important to a parent. Every child is important to your parents. Please, guys, let us not leave our children for an unknown person to cater for or to train. Because when you're not present in the life of your child, you are responsible for the outcome of that child. If that child turned out to be a criminal, it is your fault. If that child turned out to be a hoodlum, it's your fault. If you turn out to be a prostitute, it is your fault as a mother. If you're not present in the life of your child and you left your child to be trained by your siblings, your sister, or you pay a nanny and you're never there, you're chasing after money, if you like, send them to the best schools. If you send them to the best schools and you're never there and your child turned out to be a thief, a criminal, or a hooker on the streets, it is your fault. You have failed as a parent. So my advice to every mother, my advice to every father is try as much as possible to be involved in the life of your children. That emotional stability cannot be replaced with money. Okay? Till next time, okay? Stay tuned for our 4th episode. We'll be talking about more from time to time. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to subscribe here on YouTube on WJ Series. Don't forget to like and share. Most importantly, don't forget to leave your comments on the comment section on what you think and what you feel about this segment of the effects of absent parenting. Please don't forget to subscribe, all right, so that it will encourage me to do more to help families, to help lives, and most importantly, to help you. I'm the URP signing out. Yeah.